Hey, you guys, wish I could be there. Football season, and yeah, so let's get on with my part of the presentation. I apologize, catch you guys next week. I will go pretty quickly because I've already tried one take and it took too long, and I want to give everyone else as much time as possible to speak. So real quick, what we talked about is disparate impact, disparate treatment, and adverse impact. Just boiling it down, these notes are on the study guide, the study aid that I think the guys will mail out to everybody. But disparate treatment and adverse impact, real quick, what disparate treatment is what we think about as far as overt discrimination. When someone in a protected group is overtly discriminated against because they are a member of the protected group. Real quick example, you think about an employer who only hires males in the supervisory positions. One that we looked at in the book, that the book focused on, was when you have older employees who are paid less than younger employees. And the book defines older employees by people as 40 to 65. Adverse effect. Adverse effect is when we're talking about employment. It just refers to practices that are meant to be neutral or peer neutral, but have a discriminatory impact on a protected group. So some things that it talked about were using a certain standardized test for its basis for employment, or establishing educational or experience requirements that have an adverse effect on members of a protected group. So this is an infographic of disparate treatment, and what it shows is just, blatantly what we think about as discrimination is that in India, depending on the type of work that a woman does, she makes 71% or 56% of what a man does, just depending on whether or not it's manual labor or salaried labor. Salaried women employees in India make 71% of what a man does who performs the same job. And women who do casual work in India make 56% of men who work in the exact same field and in the exact same occupation. When we're talking about the business hangover and disparate impact, what the business hangover says is that basically businesses have an obligation to put in practice systems that counter the effects of overt past discrimination. It also, what it does, it calls employers to recognize that inaction can result in the perpetuation of past discrimination. Some of the things that we talked about last summer with Dr. Barrera's class, as far as making sure that you have structures in place to make sure everyone has an equal access, who has an equal shot, equal work ethic, equal access to opportunity, regardless of what your background or social status is. Disparate impact. This is what we've already kind of talked about, when an employer does not intentionally treat employees differently based on their protected class, but its actions have an adverse effect on employees. Now, as far as the employers, these are some of the defenses, or this is the primary defense that an employer has. It's called a bona fide occupational qualification, and it is a legal defense against disparate treatment. What it basically says is that discrimination is not unlawful when it is necessary for a function as business. So for example, if you're a hospital, you can say that we're setting our test scores here at this number because we save patients' lives. Or if we're saying that to be the top nurse or a surgical nurse, you have to have this level of experience because it saves the lives of patients. We're looking at the same thing as far as for pilots, airlines, requiring that their pilots have a certain amount of experience. Also, the book gave the example of hiring less qualified candidates if you choose to pay them less and assign them extra duties. What this is an infographic of disparate impact in hiring, and what it shows is the differences in hiring and unemployment rates for recent college graduates in Washington State. This one is from the state of Washington, and this is from the census and from 2009 from the United States Census. And what it shows is the breakdown of the differences in college graduates with bachelor degrees. This one shows the difference in college graduates with bachelor degrees, the unemployment rates broken down on ethnicity. And what this one shows is the breakdown in unemployment rates broken down over a range of different educational ranges. So if you have less than high school, some college, and a bachelor's degree. All right, that's it. I'm running late for practice. See you guys next week. Wish I could be there.